Hey students, so today we are going to discuss the topic of conservation. Okay, so biodiversity. It refers to the variety of life forms on Earth, including the diversity within species, between species, and within ecosystem. So, biodiversity basically means the variety of life on Earth, okay? It includes all living organisms such as plants, animals, fungi, and microorganisms, and the complex interaction between them and their environment. So, it counts every single living things like plants, animals, fungi, and tiny germs, as well as how they live and interact together in their environment, okay? So, ecosystem. An ecosystem is a community of living organisms, plants, animals, and microorganisms interacting with one another and their non living environment, like air, water, soil, climate in the specific area. Okay, so ecosystem is a neighborhood in nature. It includes a community of living things like plants, animals, and microbes interacting with each other, mixed with their non living environment like air, water, soil, and weather in a specific area. Okay, so tropical coral reef. So, type of ecosystem in the ocean. Tropical coral reefs are found in warm, shallow water near the equator. They have many large formations called corals, and corals may look like rocks or plants, but they're actually structure made up of living things and can grow over time. So basically, coral reefs are underwater cities found in warm, shallow ocean water near the equator. Okay, here's a question. Are corals rocks? No. They might look like rocks or plants, but corals are actually built by tiny living animals and grow larger over time. Okay? Coral provides shelter for fish, crabs, and many other organisms. So it is basically a safe home. Like they act as a shelter for sea creatures like fish, crabs, and other living organisms. Okay? These coral reef organisms are prey for large animals such as sea turtles, sharks, and dolphins. Most of these organisms need tropical coral reefs in order to survive and reproduce. Okay, so basically, the small creatures living in the coral reef are a major food source for bigger marine animals like sea turtles, dolphins, and etc. And most of these animals completely rely on the coral reefs to stay alive and have babies. Okay, polyps. So, corals are made up of many tiny animals called polyps. Most polyps are less than 1 centimeter across. They are related to sea anemones and have stinging tentacles. So, basically, corals are built by millions of tiny animals called polyps, and most of them are super small and less than 1 centimeter wide. Okay. So they are related to sea anemones and have tiny stinging tentacles to catch food. Okay? So polyps live together in groups. Each coral polyps has a hard skeleton. The skeleton of all the polyps in a group form a coral structure. A coral grows as more polyps add their skeleton, but because polyps are so small, this growth is very slow. A coral may take a whole year to grow just a few centimeters. So basically, polyps live together in a massive groups. Each tiny polyp grows a hard rocky skeleton around itself. Okay, and when millions of polyps combine their skeletons, they form their massive coral reef structure. Because the animals are so small, they grow incredibly slowly, sometimes taking a whole year just to grow a few centimeters. Okay, so advantages. So they support about 25% of all marine species, including fish, invertebrates, and marine mammals. despite covering less than 1% of the ocean floor. So, even though reefs take up less than 1% of the ocean floor, a quarter of all the marine creatures call them home. Okay? And coral reefs are vital for supporting local and global fisheries. Like many fish species rely on reefs for breeding, shelter, and feeding grounds. Like they are vital for global fishing because so many fish species use reefs to breed, eat, and hide. Okay? What if coral reef gets damaged? Like decline in tourism revenue, impact on fisheries, loss of biodiversity, weakened coastal protection. So basically, if we don't protect coral reefs and they get destroyed, four bad things will happen. Like people won't pay to travel and scuba diva to see dead reefs. Okay? Sorry, scuba dive. Okay. Fish populations will drop, leaving less food for fisheries. Okay. And many unique ocean species will go extinct without their homes. Okay. And reefs act like underwater walls that crash big storms, waves without them. Islands and beaches will suffer from worse flooding and erosion. Okay.